President.
Majority Whip.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, it's very obvious that Democrats are losing the Schumer shutdown. Even their media allies are turning against them. Here's an editorial from today's Washington Post. The headline is, "The Shutdown Conversation No One Wants." The Washington Post editorial board today wrote this, quote, "Democrats have demanded that Republicans agree to extend the COVID-era insurance subsidies without proposing any way to pay for it." They go on to say the Congressional Budget Office estimates that it would cost $350 billion over the next decade. Now, that's the Washington Post talking, not Republicans. So it's no surprise that Democrats are avoiding this conversation. Obamacare is broken, Obamacare is a failure, and now Democrats are holding the American people hostage to prop it up. The Biden bonus COVID payments are a bait and switch. Democrats created them in 2021. They did it as a temporary COVID program. They extended them temporarily to 2022. They set an end date from this year when they extended them once again. Now these same Democrats are demanding that they become permanent at a cost of $350 billion. It's unacceptable. This is a system that is riddled with waste, with fraud, abuse, and corruption. Big insurance companies are rewarded with direct payments from the federal government to the insurance companies. Hardworking taxpayers are left holding the bill. Many of these policies, there are no premiums, no deductibles, no income limit, no accountability. Even families making $500,000 a year, they still qualify for these Biden bonus COVID payments. This is reckless, permanent new spending. The American people can't afford it. American people know it. And even the Washington Post knows it and has reported on it today. Democrats lost the election, they've lost their media allies, and now they have lost the argument. Mr. President, on a related matter, here we are, day 6 of the Schumer shutdown. Senate Democrats have now voted 4 separate times to keep our government closed. Radical Democrats are shutting down the government with an outlandish list of demands, and you've seen them, Mr. President. Included in that list is giving free health care to illegal immigrants. When the interests of Americans and illegal immigrants collide, Democrats always seek to benefit the latter at the expense of the former. Think back to the last Democrat primary for president back in June of 2019 when they were having a big debate on live television. There were so many candidates that they actually had to do it 2 separate nights to get them all on the stage. Every running candidate for president was asked in that one debate if their platform would give free health care to illegal immigrants. Every single Democrat candidate on the debate stage that night raised their hand and said yes. Every one of them promised to give free health care to illegal immigrants. Senator Bernie Sanders was on the stage that night. He raised his hand. Senator Kristen Gillibrand of New York was on the stage that night. She raised her hand. Yes, free health care to illegal immigrants. Those are current members of the United States Senate who voted to shut the government down. They voted 4 times in the last 6 days. And it's more than talk. When Democrats get power, it's exactly what they're going to do. Look at California. In 2024, Governor Gavin Newsom expanded state-sponsored health care to illegal immigrants. He actually bragged about it. So there's no hiding from this. 1 year later, the Los Angeles Times reported that by doing this, costs had tripled. There was a headline dated March 13th of this year. It says, "Cost of undocumented health care in California is billions over estimates." They go on to say, pressuring Democrats to consider cuts. Instead of $3 billion a year in the California health care system costs taxpayers $9.5 billion by providing health care to illegal immigrants. California financed its health care for illegal immigrants through a money laundering scheme aimed at the federal government. They used it to increase the state's Medicaid payments from the federal government directly to the state of California. This is money vacuumed away from hardworking Americans and from the vulnerable people in this country, our friends and neighbors who need Medicaid the most. What did California do with it? They used it for illegal immigrants, not for U.S. citizens. President Joe Biden and the Democrats, they went even further. Apparently they weren't liberal enough in doing that. Joe Biden created multiple illegal parole programs when he was president. It was a blatant attempt at amnesty by the sleight of hand. Parole is supposed to be rare, it's supposed to be temporary, and it's supposed to be case by case. And Mr. President, I'm talking about the flood of illegal immigrants that have come into this country across our southern border. People saw them on television. Joe Biden abused presidential parole authority and turned our law on its head. Democrats made non-citizens who were paroled eligible for free health care. Look no further than the illegal immigrant who murdered 22-year-old nursing student Laken Riley in Georgia. He crossed the border illegally in 2022. The Biden administration released him into our country instead of removing him. The Biden administration paroled him for what they claimed were, quote, urgent humanitarian reasons of significant public benefit. And then he murdered a nursing student. Joe Biden made Laken Riley's killer eligible for taxpayer-funded health care. Democrats even promised free health care as an enticement to attract illegal immigrants to our southern border. It was a magnet. Well, Democrats have now shut down the government. Why? To defend a system where Laken Riley's killer can get taxpayer-funded free health care. That's who they are. That's their beliefs. That's their commitment, not to the American people, but to the illegal immigrants. Well, Republicans closed the loophole, Mr. President. Our working families' tax cuts put in place strong eligibility verification requirements. So that person can't qualify anymore, or anyone like them. It also ended the gimmicks that allowed California to fund health care for illegal immigrants through higher federal Medicaid payments, the way they siphon money from the federal government into California to pay for illegal immigrants. Meanwhile, what we've seen is President Trump and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem rightfully terminated all of these Joe Biden categorical parole programs. He should have never let him in the first place. Now we have terminated him. And the Supreme Court was called into play in an action here. The Supreme Court upheld this decision by the Trump administration after several rounds of left-wing lawfare. President Trump is securing our border. He's putting American citizens first, not illegal immigrants. That's the difference between our parties. Democrats want to undo all of that. That's why they're holding the nation hostage by shutting down the government. That's what this fight is all about. Let's be clear. By shutting down the government, Democrats are putting illegal immigrants ahead of American citizens, ahead of our veterans, ahead of our military, ahead of our seniors, ahead of our children. It is reckless, it's radical, and it is wrong. It's time for it to end. So today, Mr. President, the Senate's going to vote for a fifth time on our bipartisan continuing resolution, and we want to reopen government. It passed the House with bipartisan support. The Senate this evening will have a simple choice once again. Vote to reopen the government and put America first and Americans first, or vote with Senator Schumer to put illegal immigrants ahead of the American people. Voting with Chuck Schumer tonight will keep the government closed. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.
Clerk will call the roll.